from.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, hey, I got one more story for you, sir. This one is something I've been covering, and my YouTube traffic is starting to come back again. It came down the pipe today. I mean, a couple of days ago. Um, Shout out to Sneed and
Let me give me another one.
shout out to Sneed and Tech Life for breaking this or pretty fast. By the time I found out about it, I was already behind the eight ball. But T-Mobile reportedly is close to a deal to buy parts of U.S. Cellular. So U.S. Cellular is for sale.
I knew this day would come. I've only been saved forever.
You ain't right, sir. You ain't right.
I knew this day would come.
Now, here's the thing. Of course, like Reuters reported that T-Mobile Reuters reported that it was going to be T-Mobile and Verizon, but in this article they said that Verizon might not be part of the deal per se.
Yeah, because they probably only want like one little spot or something somewhere.
Well, either
like
that
or
they just want the spectrum.
That's what I'm saying. They're somewhere they don't have a band fully that they would like to have. That's probably it for Verizon. They don't need I don't think they need any of the footprint, but they might want some of a band in a spot, like somewhere where they don't barely have any band too. If U.S. Cellular does, they'd want that spot.
Right.
Like, certain parts of North Carolina where Verizon is starred for band 2.
Oh, super starved. I look, as I was doing my research about this, going back and looking at the U.S. Cellular footprint, and Verizon is starved for band 2 on the eastern seaboard of North Carolina. But that's where U.S. Cellular operates at.
Oh, they're starved. So it's actually the opposite, Keon. Verizon is starved for band 2 everywhere but the eastern coast of North Carolina.
Oh.
So out, if you go out to like Carolina Beach, Wilmington, all that, Verizon's got like 20 megahertz of band 2 out there.
Oh.
But if you come over here, 5 megahertz.
But hey, look, I want to do a deep dive into this because, like I said, the traffic on my videos that have U.S. Cellular in it has starting to go up because of this report. So now you got T-Mobile inherently getting ready to come in and sweep up what's left over of U.S. Cellular, and they're trying to drag in. They're trying to drag in Verizon into this so they can get it done.
Let me say it, Keon. Your brother is about to be swallowed.
Yep, he about to get that T-Mobile swag, baby.
He about to get that TD Jakes. He about to get swallowed.
Oh.
He about to get force migrated and he don't even know it.
Yep. Hey, look, I told him nobody listened to me. I said, look, man, I'm trying to tell you it was really good. Oh, we're fine where we are. No, you're not. People, look, the last the first quarter of this year, U.S. Cellular lost like 46,000 customers. The people were leaving. They're leaving. Here you go. So if people, I don't think that people understand that U.S. Cellular is not nationwide. They have nationwide roaming agreements, but they're not footprint nationwide. So let's show. I'm gonna show the people. Man, no, Dish has a larger footprint.
Well, I mean, yeah, but
Dish has a larger footprint.
Not in North Carolina. Okay, yes, this does. I had to do some math.
They do have a larger footprint, but it's not by much.
Yeah, it ain't by much.
Come on, man. So
Dish has more major cities covered in North Carolina, but U.S. Cellular has more rural covered in North Carolina.
More rural coverage.
Yeah.
So here's U.S. Cellular's coverage map. Looks nice, right? Looks like a nationwide coverage until you zoom in. So let's zoom in. And now this is their coverage. coverage. This is their coverage. So I'm from Eastern North Carolina. This is where North Carolina is. No radio. This is Maine. Remember that fast 3G? This is where it was right here.
Come on back to the Carolina.
3G.
Come on back to the Carolina.
Oh, and
So,
you forgot to talk about the iPad. How it doesn't have millimeter wave.
I'll come back around that to next week.
Wave, so it's all good.
Exactly.
So,
yeah,
this is the side of North Carolina I'm from, people. So this is why, because my brother does not leave this side of town. Okay, this is the side of North Carolina that I tell people I'm from. I'm from Eastern North Carolina, coastal. This is coastal North Carolina, as you can see. And U.S. Cellular is more predominant here than they are for the rest of the state. So Greensboro,
basically,
Charlotte,
all
the
the
mountains
cities that don't matter, they don't have. Like they need, like the cities that do matter, like they don't have coverage in Raleigh.
Right, and
major cities.
They need it. They do need it.
Fayetteville, major city.
Yeah,
Greensboro,
look.
Major city. Durham, major city. Charlotte, major city. All the major cities they don't have.
It's like they, but it's like they evolve.
Okay, you're looking. There goes my thumping ground. Solid City is my hometown.
See?
And they have literally one tower in Solid City, by the way, guys. One tower. And I kid you not, it's like a 70-foot tower in the middle of nowhere. Not even joking.
So here's the thing. So you got this. This is the footprint that you're dealing with. And US Cellular, me personally, I'm surprised it didn't take this long for them to find. Like, this is the northern neck of Virginia up here, West Virginia up that way, Tennessee, chunks of Tennessee and Knoxville. What is this?
Missouri,
Arkansas, Kansas, Missouri. Yeah, Kansas City. Like, look. Why are you not in the city? Like that seems kind of weird. Like, your footprint literally goes, oh, that's city life. We don't do that.
They could only afford to buy Spectrum in the non-metro.
That's true.
All the places that count, the other big companies had the money to outbid them in the Spectrum.
Chicago.
That's why I said they would only be adding to some of these other carriers' bandwidth in the areas they do cover.
Right.
So, for instance, out in Wilmington, like I just described earlier, Verizon has plenty of band 2. Who's slack on band 2 in Wilmington? T-Mobile is, but they won't be with U.S. Cellular anymore.
That's true.
They'll gain that there.
Now, here's the thing: if you
have complete coverage already,
T-Mobile,
tell you the truth, I don't even think T-Mobile is going to use a lot of that grid. They just want the Spectrum, probably.
They probably would just throw away all the tower sites, but they'll gain the customer. What's left over the customer base?
Yeah, and like I said, they'll use the band.
Because it's reported that they only want 71. It's reported that they only want to spend like $2 billion for the company, and we valued it at least $3 billion for the company itself.
Who valued it that high? Because I didn't.
Well, we talked about it. It was briefly.
I told you 1.8 is what it was worth. Well, you get $3 billion from.
Well, here's the thing, though, radio.
Maybe with the fiber, with all the fiber.
See, that's what I was about to say. I was getting ready to say that.
I don't think they're getting the fiber.
So I went and looked up the parent company, which is TDS.
TDS, yeah.
So I went and looked up TDS, and this is the closest map that I could find of TDS and their footprint when it comes to fiber.
Yeah, I don't think that's for sale. That's not for sale. TDS will probably stay as its own company. It's not a part of the buyout.
Look, this is what I could find a TDS availability map, and it's still weird. Yeah. They're saying the red areas are 0% availability, 50% is yellow, if 100% is green, and it's not that many. And there's not that many places.
What's the purpose of even showing us the red? Shouldn't the whole map be red?
The whole map should be red.
Exactly. That's dumb.
You're gonna give us a representation. What is these the areas that you think about you want to go to?
They said that looks too bad. And
No.
the whole
Vegas is completely red. But you think about want to go there? But
maybe
like
they're planning
Utah
it.
is green, like 100% green. It's a different shade of green here. What is that called? What's that?
Or maybe they only included the red so people who live in that area would know not to try to get it because they see neighbors, somebody down the street getting it.
Probably. Maybe that's go, oh, we're not there.
It's only there. It's basically they're only putting the red where it's proximal to their existing footprint.
Right. Oregon.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's what it is. The red is only there for the people who live there to recognize that it's not covering them. That's why they didn't paint the whole map, because if you're in a state that they have zero footprint, you don't need to see red. You just know you can't get it.
Right.
So you wouldn't, and in fact, you probably wouldn't know the company existed. So I don't. Yeah, that's what they were attempting to do with this. The red is only there to stop people from calling in.
But this is the highest concentration of their fiber to some of their cell sites is in the Midwest right here, which is Wisconsin and Illinois.
Yeah. If you're in Milwaukee, it's a no-go. If you're in Madison,
but that's where the majority of their customer base is.
Well, Wisconsin, not Milwaukee specifically.
Yeah. But
but I don't think T-Mobile is buying that portion, so it's irrelevant.
Well, here's the thing: if TDS is the parent company, they're gonna want something for their fiber investment.
What do you mean? What's that got to do with them? They'll just continue to offer home ISP services on their fiber and sell off the wireless company. Doesn't matter because they're not. Because remember, they're not together. That fiber is not a part of US Cellular. That's just like Charter Communications' parent company is Liberty Media. Just because you buy Charter don't mean you buy Liberty.
That's true. That's true.
Because they also have other companies that are not a part of us. Yeah, it's just a division. So no, T-Mobile's not getting any fiber in the US Cellular buyout, which is why $3 billion is not remotely feasible.
But then that means that the $2 billion that they are reported, that's asking more because you valued it at like $1.5 billion.
Well, remember, I said the company was valued at 1.8. That doesn't mean the spectrum is.
Oh no, the spectrum is.
I would argue the spectrum is more valuable than the whole company.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the assets. But you know what? Here's the thing: if T-Mobile was to acquire all of US Cellular, we know that it would be a crap show because then they're gonna be like, "Well, you have too much spectrum."
Nah, because it's gonna be mostly low band stuff that they be gaining.
Well, they end up closing the gap.
AT&T can't make that. AT&T can't cry about them getting a bunch of low band. AT&T better shut their mouth.
Oh,
hey, look, I got 70-something megahertz of low band. They better shut their mouth.
Shut this out. In certain sections, US Cellular has like 20 megahertz of 600. So T-Mobile in a lot of different areas can go from 20 megahertz to 40 of 600.
You mean when you say 20 megahertz, you're saying 10 up, 10 down?
Oh yeah, sorry. So they can expand to 30.
There you go.
Yeah, they'll expand to 30. My apologies. But that's still low band only.
I don't see an issue with it.
But you know that US Cellular is going to want to sell those hardware assets too. They're going to want to get rid of the towers and all.
Yeah, but they'll be. Yeah, but I'm saying T-Mobile will be buying it. They just won't need to use it in most cases. They'll only probably keep any towers that are where they don't have coverage. Every other tower is going to get shut down.
Certain ones because they'll abandon it like they did Sprint.
Yep.
Well, they decommed them because understand T-Mobile was already building over Sprint, and as T-Mobile was becoming better and growing faster than Sprint was, you eventually just outgrow them, and then if your grid doesn't match up, then why keep those towers?
That's what I said. Right. They're only going to keep towers where they don't have service. That's it. Otherwise,
here's the thing. what was it when we were talking to EM? He was telling us that T-Mobile sucks in his area, but USA was strong.
Well,
So
there goes
T-Mobile would
those towers will
automatically
stay
go
on.
from zero to hero.
There you go. Those
T-Mobile
towers are
goes
going to
from
stay
zero to
on.
hero overnight.
Those towers are going to get climbed and upgraded and.
No, but Edmund, I'm gonna go on record on something. I'm sure Roberto's probably gonna agree on me on something, and it's kind of
What's up?
It's changing the subject, but not by much.
What's up?
I think T-Mobile. AT&T is gonna buy out the wireless side of Dish.
No, I don't think so. I do not think so.
Yes, they will, and the reason why I say that is because they have a good partnership right now with roaming.
Brandon, you want to know why?
But
because the federal government cried bloody murder when T-Mobile and Sprint wanted to merge, and they said going from 4 to 3 was a detriment.
But look at it
but Brandon, wait, Brandon, what does AT&T gain from buying it?
Yeah,
more spectrum.
What spectrum? They barely had spectrum, and AT&T has plenty of low band. AT&T has more low band than everybody. So what do they gain?
They gain nothing.
Gain. Plus, Dish barely has low band.
Yeah.
Remember, they didn't even buy the 800.
They barely got 600. And 600 is the one they're riding on.
They be having like 5 megahertz channels of 600. AT&T doesn't need that, and damn well AT&T ain't gonna put them big antennas up to broadcast.
AT&T wants mid band. That's what they want.
Yeah, and Dish don't have enough.
And AWS
So then what's
is
really
only
going to happen?
One way directional doesn't do good.
You're gonna have
another band 30.
The only thing that can happen to Dish is a company not in cellular gets it. No other company has any value in buying it.
But what I'm saying is that
it has no
network. Dish Wireless would literally be cursed because they have literally almost no customers.
But we already knew that. That's the point.
Because look at Metro, they got bought out. Cricket got bought out.
Yeah. But the only thing that only person that Dish would be valuable to is a customer who's not in cellular. Otherwise, they have zero value. Like real talk.
And understand, and it would never pass. And it would never pass regulation because, like I said, look, Brandon. If that was the case, AT&T would have been able to buy T-Mobile.
Like, for example, AT&T might buy out Boost, the brand.
Yeah.
They don't need the towers.
Nope.
They don't need the towers or the spectrum. Dish doesn't have coverage in places that AT&T doesn't.
But that's the problem. But Brandon, I'm not trying to tell you that you're wrong. What I'm saying is the problem you run into is all the same legalese that T-Mobile and Verizon.
So
T-Mobile and Sprint ran into.
Dish is a dead body. It's doomed. It's going nowhere.
It's not. It's not.
Only way Dish even survives is if a company like Amazon picks it up.
And we already know that Amazon is literally just keeping them alive long enough to grab them.
And guess what? And guess what Amazon can do with it if you really want to know. And guess what? I'm not going to say run the cellular network on.
What can they do?
What they can do with it, for one, is they can reform all that spectrum for their new satellite internet that's coming up.
That's true.
And use it as additional spectrum outside of the regular satellite services for that.
Yeah, because Amazon's supposed to be doing satellite internet.
Yep, they could use that as additional services. And guess what? On top of that, they could offer like they could become like a what's the word I want to use? So imagine you're in a town and T-Mobile is at capacity, right? But there's some of them leftover Dish towers. There's a scenario where they could actually pay to let T-Mobile use spectrum.
Yeah. I can see that.
Like, so T-Mobile can say, "Hey, we need a little bit extra this." And they could pay to use it in that spot.
So Amazon becomes the thing that Dish should have done in the beginning, which was like, give us the spectrum, we operate the network, and you just reaping the benefits. You don't have to worry about hardware. We got the hardware side and your spectrum. You just reaping the money.
What Dish should have done in the first place, because they knew they didn't have the money to actually build a network, they should have done is they should have been leasing that spectrum out the entire time they owned it.
The whole time.
They should have been leasing it out, and if they were to decide to like operate a brand like Boost, they could still do that. They could operate it just an MVNO, but also lease a spectrum. Bam. But they ain't what they did. Nope. They had to build that network where it stops in all the major cities and doesn't go out in the rural. It's a waste. It's a complete waste.
See, look, man, I went back and I looked at the agreement that was put up before Dish to have to build out. They said they had to cover. They didn't say anything about a hardware build. They just said your spectrum has to cover X amount of day, X amount of miles, X amount of regions, X amount of this, X amount of that. Yeah. As soon as you light it up, bam, it's coverage. So all you had to do was give your spectrum to either AT&T or T-Mobile, and bam, you met the requirements.
And don't get it twisted. In a major city where Dish did deploy the city, where you have like Amazon maybe wanting to use like delivery robots and things of that nature later on down the road, yeah, that could, if you think about it, they could literally treat those footprints like one network slice. Yes. And only use it for that instead of cellular customers. There's ways to do it that will be smart. So if you got a town that has 100% in the city coverage and you want to operate a bunch of IoT stuff, that's who Amazon should be marketing towards. They should come up with commercial products that are IoT that they own the rights to and sell it to these companies and use that network to operate those things so they don't have to route another network. The network's already empty with bandwidth. It's a perfect standalone IoT only network if you think about it.
That's true. But like I said, the boomers don't know how to run a business, so
yeah, but only Amazon could even get away with it. They're the only company that can make something like that happen.
Right.
Same thing with all, you know how they were trying to make everybody's doorbells link up in neighborhoods? Yeah. So if your internet went out, your doorbell using neighbor's internet, well, what if they can just put it on the network? Little stuff like that is how they could monetize it.
And that would have been a flood of IoT devices coming from Amazon that they could. That's the services that they provide. So it would make a whole neighborhood safer because now all of them are linked.
You're all on the cell tower.
They're all on the cell tower, and when if power did go out or somebody cut the power or whatever, guess what? They got battery backups.
Yep. So other than that. Can Dish operate as a successful cellular network? No.
But I was trying to tell Brandon was the problem that you run into is if AT&T couldn't buy T-Mobile, and that was frowned upon.
Yeah, you have to also think about it. T-Mobile was way bigger than Dish was.
Not during that merger time.
No, not during that
merger.
No.
We're talking about 2007, bro. We're talking about 2007.
Yeah. T-Mobile barely even 2011.
No. The original merger was 2007. Remember the roaming agreement was for 7 years, and that ended in like 2012 or 13. Remember?
Well, okay. Well, then that makes sense.
Yeah, so that was.
But that's what I'm saying is if a T-Mobile AT&T merger was bad, and Sprint and T-Mobile had got hell, and T-Mobile had to divest itself of certain assets before they can merge, what do you think is going to happen with AT&T and Dish? Like, first of all, AT&T wouldn't get nothing for it, and number two, it would never pass muster with the DOJ.
Let's look at the original merger. See here. Let's look at this. Let's see here. Did they try to merge more than once?
I think they flirted. I think they flirted for a while.
Okay, let's see here.
But I remember seeing the article where they asked AT&T sitting in front of like Congress or something, or in front of some panel. They were like, "So why are you merging?" Like, we think this is going to work.
Because I think even then, the only reason why AT&T wanted T-Mobile, it wasn't for the customers.
No, it's for the spectrum, probably.
It was not even. Well, not no. They only remember they only had bad tooth. It was actually that Southern Tower grid.
Oh,
Because you got to realize that AT&T didn't even have North Carolina covered in 2011.
ooh,
But companies like Suncom had already built out
did
here. Because if you remember, what did the same thing I tell y'all? What did AT&T do when they couldn't get T-Mobile? They went and bought Cricket.
yep.
Cricket actually had a tower grid. People seem to forget that part.
Cricket at the time was U.S. Cellular.
Yeah, they had a tower grid out here. So that was the real reason they wanted T-Mobile, because they wanted the Suncom tower grid, the Southern Communications grid. And that grid went from here to Florida.
Ooh,
It wasn't even Spectrum. It was the grid. The grid was very valuable because that means that's less towers AT&T didn't have to build or
right.
get permits for or go through. I just want to know how many customers T-Mobile had. That's what I want to know.
Oh, I don't. Because they were relocated to major cities. I don't think that.
Yeah, they didn't even
I don't think
exist
they
in North
broke.
Carolina.
I don't think they. I know. At that time, they were under Sprint, and Sprint was like 50 million. So T-Mobile at that time was probably like pushing 10 to 12.
Let's look and see how big they were. 2011. They only had a couple 100,000 customers, y'all, for 2011.
Oh wow.
25,000. It says Q1 2011. It's not even 45,000, dog.
Whoa. Yeah, then they must have.
See?
They really wanted that grid.
Dish had more customers. Yeah, T-Mobile didn't have no customers back then. That's according to the Statistica.com. Let's get in. Let's dig deeper. Hold up. Let me, because I gotta know. I gotta find them. I don't like the way that graph is confusing.
Hey, look, I know that T-Mobile was more relocated towards cities at that time. So I projected them to be somewhere between 7 to 10 million customers. And you can get 7 to 10 million if you just only in near cities.
Why they gotta make this so complicated? I hate when people make shit complicated. It don't have to be.
Complicated for no reason.
Yeah, just give me a damn number. Yeah. Put too much. I guarantee you it's less than $1 million though. That's why I say I don't think that. You said a couple million. I don't even think they had that
I said
many,
a couple
bro.
million.
I don't even think it was that many, bro.
I mean, because the thing is if that was the case, they had an explosion after that failed merger. I mean, like a complete explosion.
T-Mobile did buy more companies after the fact, though. That's the point you have to realize.
That's true.
Remember, that's what I was saying. They bought other companies. Plus, I don't know if you actually go to the T-Mobile site, they didn't even rebrand to T-Mobile until 2012. It was Metro PCS still in 2011, according to the investor page on T-Mobile's website. Their annual report was under Metro PCS because that was their largest division at that time.
Oh, Metro PCS was their largest division.
Yeah, at that time. Because if you look at the 2011 annual report, it shows up as Metro PCS, not VoiceStream, not T-Mobile. So T-Mobile existed, but they hadn't yet combined with all these other companies yet. So they were not that big at that time.
They had pieces. And then the T-Mobile brand is what started, gaining traction.
Yeah. So it's
But that's dang, man. Good God, they exploded after that failed merger. Bam.
US. Yeah, because they got all that AT&T roaming. So guess what happened? They came to places like North Carolina where they had no tower grid and they were selling service. And you got to remember, like, this is before like unlimited data and stuff really took off.
Yeah.
So we're talking about 3G phones.
Yep.
We're talking about Samsung sliders.
Ooh. The sidekick. The sidekick?
Yeah,
oh.
the sidekick. Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
It's like they want to hide it. They don't want me to know the number, dog. The hell?
Yeah, they rewrite history, sir. They rewrite history.
Because I know Carlos said, I forgot, when did the Las Vegas area turn to T-Mobile from VoiceStream? What year was that?
Ooh.
That was back in 2001 or 2, because my mom had a voice stream.
Okay, it says the end of the third quarter in 2011. It said T-Mobile is this. Okay, this is what it says. It says they had 33 million customers. Now that is a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I knew they had a lot.
But out of that 33 million, 99% of them are roaming.
Oh yeah.
I was dating a girl at the time that her phone literally stopped working in 2012, 2013. Stopped working because I think the roaming ended.
Wow. But you know what? That explains, like I said, the explosion after the failed merger explains a lot. And with that being said, we can see now where T-Mobile is just gobbling up all the little stuff, which I mean, US Cellular was already ready to be gotten. Like, you understand? Come on, you're a small time fry in a big pond, and everybody's already outbilled you, already outdone you. You know, your coverage map looks dismal, and especially around major cities.
Mm. You know what? I put it like this: if AT&T wanted to pull a power play, they in theory could buy Dish and do exactly what I said Amazon could do with it. Just operate it as IoT network in cities, separate from the regular AT&T network. And monetize it.
Well, here's the thing, though, Radio. I talked about this a couple weeks ago. That's what direction AT&T's already going in. They want to become the Spectrum house for all the smaller carriers, all the smaller people who do have Spectrum.
That's T-Mobile, sir.
No, AT&T. Because the reason why I say it like this is, when I was reporting on it, that's how I understood it. Is they're building their network to where they can have a whole different segment of covering all the spectrum that's available. So you do have small companies out there that got spectrum. You know, you pull it up on Spectrum Omega, and you be like, well, that one little town in Houston, like one little place in Houston, is covered by somebody else. Like Comcast might have it, and then somebody else might have a little section of it. But that little company's not deploying it. It's just sitting there. It's nobody using it. AT&T goes, well, we'll use it. Just let us, we'll give you the revenue profits from it if somebody's on it, and we'll make a deal so you can let us use your spectrum, and they don't have to get it cleared by the FCC.
You know what makes it worse? As I think about it more and more, Ken, I think Dish already knows that this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think so.
They do.
They
know the death is coming.
What I'm saying is they may want it, like they may purposely want that to happen, and they basically would have built in a bunch of major cities. They have built a subset network that can be operated privately.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, because we see the throughput they're getting with nobody on it.
Yeah. But I mean, like I said,
I don't think Charlie
AT&T though.
Charlie can't run it, and to be honest with you, I don't think AT&T would run it right. AT&T has the money, but they don't think they'd run it right. God, man,
Why do you think AT&T letting Ericsson? Why do you think AT&T's letting Ericsson run their network? They don't want to run it.
I'm gonna stick with Amazon. I think Amazon should pick it up and use it for IoT.
I agree.
Remember, they already want to deploy delivery robots. What's the purpose of paying somebody else to put your delivery robot on the internet?
Look. If anything, it's perfect. It's perfect timing for Amazon to grab it, because here's the thing: you get AT&T and T-Mobile's network to use. All you got to do is do longer term agreements.
It's not though, Keon, because if they grab it now, the government's going to make them operate that thing as a damn actual network, and there lies the problem. They're going to have to wait for it to literally die, like literally.
So they have to get to a US Cellular point before they can go in.
No, worse. They had to be even worse. Yeah, because if they get it now, the government's just going to pass all the stuff they put on Dish. They're going to pass that to Amazon. Amazon probably wouldn't want that, which is probably why they didn't buy it. So what they're going to have to do is literally just let the thing fail. That's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to wait till it's completely dead and then buy it up. So then the government won't have any requirements on it.
Right. The requirements die. The requirements die with Dish, and that's it.
Yeah, if you buy it now, the government's going to expect you to keep building it out and actually be a fourth carrier. And Amazon don't want to do that because guess what? If Amazon wanted to do that, they would have already bought it, or they would have already dumped the money into making it.
Well, the thing is, no radio is that it's extremely expensive to even build it.
Oh yeah, but Amazon can do it in their sleep. They really
come on, dog.
They just don't want to. I'm gonna tell you something, bro. If Amazon was to get into the cellular war, they would destroy Verizon, AT&T, and everybody with their pockets.
Yeah,
and their fleet and their logistics system, they would destroy everyone if they actually cared.
But the thing is, we all know that Amazon doesn't play like that. They're going to look for the easier path.
Exactly. Yeah, they're not going to do that.
And like the radio just said, the easier path is just let them die, and then you go and get it. And you don't with no terms, restrictions.
Yeah, get it with no terms, no conditions, so you can do what you feel. So they can literally get it to the point where Amazon can literally go and be like, "Hey, we're putting a new warehouse right here. Oh, we need a wireless network around the building. Bam, we'll use our assets."
Right. But then the assets they do have nationwide, they'll let somebody else operate it.
And remember too, you know how they stick up these Amazon lockers? I don't know how it is where y'all live, but they stick up these Amazon lockers everywhere.
They're starting to show up a lot of places.
They have to have an internet connection. There goes IoT devices.
And a lot of them are cellular. Actually, all of them are cellular.
They're paying somebody else for it in a lot of places, but I would imagine some of them are probably already on Dish's network. Some of them lockers. And where it's available anyway. So that's what I say. The Amazon has as an IoT, I think Amazon should be looking at it as a potential IoT network that they can use for their own stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, look,
nothing else.
Amazon could come in and gobble up Dish after they're presumed, written off in rigor mortis.
You know what would be a smarter purchase for Amazon?
What?
T-Mobile.
No.
Yes.
No.
The reason why I say that is because they basically already made it.
No, man. No, Brandon.
They don't need that though. But here's the thing: Amazon doesn't need 2 gigabit throughput. They don't need all that for what they're.
No, but what I'm saying on radio is that they would literally have to find people to actually make the network versus it already being done.
But they don't need to make more network. Is the point I'm trying to tell you. No. They don't need more network. They only need network in the cities, and Dish did that.
Yeah.
Amazon ain't gonna put a delivery robot at Farmer John's house.
No.
They're gonna put it there in the metro city area where that robot only travels 1 mile each direction. They don't need more network.
Brandon, you have to look at how Amazon does things, right? Amazon did not all of a sudden just spring up and become a major delivery hub that's outdoing FedEx. Okay, they literally use FedEx, UPS, USPS, and everybody that delivered for 10, 15, 20 years before they decided to go all in on their own delivery. So why would they go and buy a cellular network that's already established and become a cellular network? They would rather piggyback off of everybody before they do that.
Yeah, they would have just bought UPS if that's what they needed.
There were reports that said that they were going to buy USPS, the United States Postal Service.
You know what they did do though? They started putting Prime only in the cities, and they slowly expanded Prime further and further outside of the cities. But they don't offer all the services outside the city.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying. The city is the bread and butter. You go in the city and you deliver 15 packages and ain't even drove a quarter mile. You come in the country, you driving 12 miles between packages.
You driving days.
So guess what? They're not sending, next day stuff to the middle of nowhere. When you go and you put it in your cart, it'll tell you, oh, it'll be here in 2 days. But then the guy in town, it'll be here tomorrow.
What's going on?
But no, like I said, I think the best case for Dish is that it becomes an IoT only network for somebody.
I think that IoT and IoT network and MVNO.
Even Starlink could buy it,
That's true.
or Elon could even buy it. To be honest with you,
Elon
but
is not afraid to buy it because they
don't
were
don't.
in
They're gonna have. Don't let him put the self-driving on the dish towers, boy.
Oh Lord.
He'll
Hey,
buy it.
but guess what, though, Keon? The benefit for him in that scenario would be there's nothing else on the network if they set it that way.
That's
So
true.
so the cars get 100% real-time priority over nothing else. You don't add in all the conflict, only in those cities.
But he wouldn't want to build any new infrastructure around it either.
But he wouldn't really need to in that scenario.
True, but his
What
thing,
network
the
is
partnership
your
that you had with
Tesla
AT&T.
What if
It's AT&T LTE.
Yeah,
The reason why I know
somebody's
is
gonna buy it,
because
but yeah, the one thing I will tell you is that is not going to be a cell phone network. I can go ahead and tell you that much. It ain't gonna happen.
nah, I
Dish
mean
is
I
not
see
gonna
Amazon. I see Amazon becoming an MVNO before I see Dish get bought by AT&T.
Me too.
That's just how
Absolutely.
I look at it because it's just how Amazon moves.
Yeah. They really should have already done
Wait
it.
until they die, and then once they pronounce dead, you come in and breathe life back into it.
Yeah, they should have already done it.
But then, like you just said, they would be held responsible for all the stuff that
No,
Dish had to do.
what I'm saying, if they were going to operate as like a cell phone network, should have already done it. Otherwise, let it die. Let it die. Just don't have enough spectrum to make them that value. Let them die.
That is true.
That's another thing I tell you too. Those towers, they got these towers over there with nobody on them. Everybody bragging about how fast they are. Like, ain't nobody on the damn thing.
Oh look,
bro.
Hey, no radio. I poke fun at PA Tech about that one. He was like, "Yo, look how fast it is," and I'd be like, "Nobody's on it."
Yeah, that's what I don't. He don't realize in a major city there's like 700 people on a single sector.
Right.
Like Verizon. That ain't happening.
Here's the thing. Earlier tonight, because we all know that Speed Tech lives in Atlanta, and Atlanta is a T-Mobile town. So when you touch 2 gigs on your speed test in the middle of the city, that says something impressive because there you're like, yo.
You got to realize something, that entire town was covered already in 2010, 2011, 2012. Metro had it covered completely. There wasn't no coverage gaps in Atlanta. Before T-Mobile
they went back in there and put small cells in.
Yeah, there wasn't no coverage gaps there. So they didn't have to build Atlanta. Atlanta was already built, band 2 100%.
That's true.
I know. I was there in 2011, 2010, and that's whenever people who were there told me Verizon didn't barely work, and Metro was the thing to have in Atlanta. And I knew it was true. You know how I knew it was true? Because I saw Verizon cows parked everywhere.
Oh,
back in 2012.
No, they don't call them cows anymore, sir. They call them the Titan. Okay.
I remember I mocked it. I literally mocked it. My homeboy Rio. Shout out to my homeboy Rio, music producer, Rio Productions. He was the first person to tell me. I saw a sign. I was like, Metro Pete, what is that? He's like, oh man, everybody here got that. I'm over here on my little Verizon, but I was forced migrated off of Alltel not long before this, basically. And I was just like, Metro. He's like, man, that's the thing to have in Atlanta. This is 2012.
You gotta have that. You
gotta have Metro. I was like, dang, okay. Never heard of that. Never heard of Metro.
I mean, maybe that's probably where Metro Booming came from. We don't know.
He ain't even from Atlanta.
Oh, I'm just saying. I'm poking fun though.
You know what? I don't think he's from Atlanta. Anyway.
I don't know. But yo, hey, the radio.
He's not.
Brandon, thank y'all for coming by. He's not where he's from. But Atlanta's Mecca though. But Atlanta is the Mecca.
Yeah,
for music, it's the Mecca.
Yeah.
But hey, look, I'm glad that y'all stopped by, man. Thank you for giving me some new insights to the, different perspectives to look at. Everybody, thank y'all for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you got any comments about today's subjects, from Apple to Spectrum to US Cellular dying because pretty much T-Mobile getting ready to get it for wholesale, and all the Apple people, I'm sorry, but if you buy the new iPad, you're asking for it. You're asking for trouble at that point. That's because how I look at it anyway. But
you deserve whatever happens to you.
Yep. Any plugs y'all want to do, Brandon? Well, Brandon's already gone. No radio. Is your normal plug the same?
I'm not gonna say it. Yeah. Trying to be controlled. Trying to control myself, sir.
I mean, radio. I mean, your normal plug though. You know, there's some older ladies out there that need to hear it.
Yeah, you know, they know that I can be found. I can be found in your grandma's sock drawer. You know what I'm saying?
There it is. There it is.
Everybody know that.
Man, hey, thank y'all for watching.
That's because your grandma's only 40.
Oh.